Ghost Ship is a 2002 American supernatural horror film directed by Steve Beck. It was essentially a remake of the 1980 film Death Ship. It was also received as a combo of two very popular movies, Titanic 1997 and The Shining 1980. Its plot was set in two time periods, 1962 and 40 years later in the present. In 1962, the Italian ocean liner Antonia Grazia was sailing the oceans, accompanying the creme de la creme society, having fun partying and dancing to a seductive but shady Spanish singer, Francesca, and then there was Katie, a lonesome girl in All Grown-Ups. So, very soon, this easygoing party night turns into a horrific and deadly episode of A Murderous Night, providing us with one of the most terrifying openings ever made in a horror movie. Then the movie shifts 40 years after taking us to a self-proclaimed weather service pilot, Jack, who seems quiet and decent, but, as we should never trust someone completely, especially in a horror movie, so Jack introduces the same ghost ship, Antonia Grazia, to a salvage crew of 6. Murphy is the boss of a civilian tugboat, Arctic Warrior, and their leader, Epps, is a manly woman. Hence, the crew proceeds in search of Antonia, and guess what? They discovers Antonia, or more precisely, we can say Antonia discovered them. Now we already know that Antonia is somehow a ghost ship floating randomly for years and is haunted by the spirits of that murdering night, and so will paranormal things occur, like the door opening itself, Katie's crossword replaying, the archaic clock still functioning on this day, and the shapeshifting ghosts. So, Antonia murders these characters one by one as they go their separate ways to explore Antonia. Antonia's good and evil spirits allure and interact with every character, simply revealing their sins, like Murphy's adherence to alcoholism and his drink, likewise chatting with the ghost of Antonia's crew captain about the cruise's history. This scene draws inspiration from the popular psychological thriller The Shining, 1980. Here, the main character Jack drinks and chats with a ghost about an isolated hotel. Then, Greer meets the seductive Francesca, and her ghost fills him up with a passionate lust, so that it was Greer's sin as he cheated on his fiancée. For Munder and Santos, gluttony is sinful. Epps meets Katie's ghost, who's eventually a good spirit because only Epps was a decent one and, of course, sinless. Ghost Ship was originally scripted by Mark Hanlon in January 1996 as Chimera, as a psychological thriller movie, rather than all the supernatural gore, horror, and violence that were specifically added in the new script, making the film a slasher with all the massacres, gunshots, decapitation, and hanging of the Francesca's character from a hook. In an interview, Juliana Margulies, who played Maureen Epps, said that the producers discarded the psychological aspects of the original script, about what happens when you have too much of something, money is evil, greed, and these two people start going crazy, which is why the cast agreed to do it. The very opening scene gives the script a good start, but then it's a vague plot, and how voidly the storyline ends was plainly stupid to believe. Like it's all was the work of a devil's follower, and his task was to collect a ship loaded with the souls of sinners. The performances were okay. Emily Browning as Katie played the naive, fearful child, Juliana Margulies as Epps played the female protagonist, leading till the end, and Gabriel Byrne as Murphy, the matured, but greedy one's, performance was satisfactory. The cinematography and visual effects were really effective. The opening shot of the cruise ship Antonia was designed beautifully, as she stood out alone. And, thus, the last scene resembles the 1997 Titanic. Here the rusty, haunted, Antonia sinks, liberating the souls, and displaying the colorful aurora, and it was a spectacular shot.